Numbers chapter 22. Then the Israelites journeyed on and camped in the plains of Moab along the Jordan opposite Jericho. Now Balak, the son of Zippor, saw all that the Israelites had done to the Amorites, and the Moabites were afraid of Israel, because they were a very numerous people. In fact, they were terrified. So the Moabites said to the elders of Midian, "Look, this horde is destroying everything around us as easily as the ox eats the grass of the field." So Balak, son of Zippor, king of Moab at that time, sent messengers to summon Balaam, son of Beor, at Pethor, near the river in the land of the Ammonites. Balak said, "A people has come out of Egypt. They cover the face of the earth and are settling opposite me. Come and put a curse on these people, because they are too powerful for me. Then perhaps I may be able to defeat them and drive them out of the land. For I well know that those you bless are indeed blessed, and those you curse are cursed." The elders of Moab and Midian set out, taking with them the fee for divination. They went to Balaam and gave him Balak's message. Balaam said to them, "Stay here tonight, and I will give you whatever answer Yahweh will have given me." So the Moabite elders stayed in Balaam's house. God came to Balaam and asked him, "Who are these men with you?" Balaam said to God, "Balak, son of Zippor, king of Moab, sent them to me with this message. A people has come out of Egypt and covers the face of the earth. Now come and put a curse on them for me. Perhaps I shall then be able to fight and drive them away." But God said to Balaam, "Do not go with them. You must not put a curse on them, because they are blessed." Next morning, Balaam got up and said to the elders of Balak, "Return to your country, for Yahweh has refused to let me go with you." So the Moabite elders returned to Balak and said, "Balaam refused to come with us." Balak sent other leaders, more numerous and more distinguished than the first. They went to Balaam and said, "This is what Balak, son of Zippor, says. Do not refuse to come to me. I will greatly honor you. Whatever you ask of me, I will do for you. Please come and lay a curse on these people for me." Balaam answered the servants of Balak, "Even if Balak gave me his house full of silver and gold, I could not do anything great or small beyond the command of Yahweh my God. Now you too stay here tonight as the others did, till I wait for what else Yahweh may tell me." God came to Balaam at night and said, "If these men have come to summon you, go with them, but you may only do what I tell you." Balaam got up next morning, saddled his donkey, and went with the Moabite leaders. But the anger of God was aroused because of his going, and Yahweh's angel posted himself on the road, a drawn sword in his hand. Balaam was riding on the donkey, and his 2 boys were with him. When the donkey saw the angel, she turned off the road and went into the field. Then Balaam hit the donkey to get her back onto the road. But the angel of Yahweh stood on a narrow lane between vineyards with a stone wall in either side. When the donkey saw the angel of Yahweh, she shrank against the wall, crushing Balaam's foot against it, so he beat her again. Then Yahweh's angel went ahead and stopped at a narrow place where there was no room to go either to the right or left. When the donkey saw Yahweh's angel there, she lay down under Balaam. He was angry and beat her with a stick. But now Yahweh opened the mouth of the donkey, and she said to Balaam, "What have I done to you to make you beat me 3 times? Balaam answered, "You have made a fool of me. If I had a sword just now, I would kill you." And the donkey said to Balaam, "Am I not your own donkey that you have ridden to this day? Have I ever dared to do this to you?" He said, "No." Then Yahweh opened Balaam's eyes, and he saw Yahweh's angel standing on the road with a drawn sword. He bowed and fell downward, his face to the ground. Yahweh's angel said to him, "Why did you strike your donkey 3 times? I have come here to oppose you because you are going a wrong way. The donkey saw me and turned away 3 times. Otherwise, I would have killed you, but not her." And Balaam said to Yahweh's angel, "I did not want to sin. I did not know you were posted against me on the road. But if this journey displeases you, I will go back." Yahweh's angel said to Balaam, "Go with these men, but you may say only what I tell you." So Balaam went on with Balak's men. When Balak heard that Balaam had come, he went to meet him at the boundary city of Moab on the Arnon border. Then Balak said to Balaam, "I sent an urgent summons to you. Why didn't you come? Did you think I would not pay you well enough?" Balaam then said to Balak, "Now I have come to you, but what can I say? Only what Yahweh puts on my lips." So Balaam went with Balak, and they came to Kiriath Huzoth. There Balak sacrificed cattle and sheep, and gave some to Balaam and the leaders who were with him. Next morning, Balak took Balaam up to the high places of Baal, and from there he saw some of the people of Israel. Numbers chapter 23. Balaam said, "Build me 7 altars here, and prepare 7 bullocks and 7 rams for me." Balak did just as Balaam had ordered, and Balak and Balaam offered up a bullock and a ram on each altar. Balaam said to Balak, "Stand here beside your offering while I go aside. Perhaps Yahweh will meet me, and whatever he lets me see, I will tell you." So he went to a barren hill. God met Balaam, who said, "I have prepared the 7 altars, and on each altar I have offered a bullock and a ram." Yahweh then put a message on Balaam's lips and said, "Go back to Balak and give him this message." Balaam returned and found Balak standing beside his offering, together with the leaders of Moab. Then Balaam pronounced his oracle. "From Aram, Balak has brought me, the king of Moab from the eastern mountains. Come, curse Jacob for me. Come, denounce Israel. How can I curse him whom God has not cursed? How can I denounce him whom God has not denounced? From the peak of the crags I see him, from the heights I behold him. I see a people that lives apart, a people different from all the nations. Who can count the dust of Jacob or number the fourth part of Israel? Let me die the death of the upright, and may my end be like theirs. Then Balak said to Balaam, What have you done to me? I took you to curse my enemies, and you have actually blessed them. And Balaam answered, Must I not take care to say what Yahweh put on my lips? Balak said to him, Come with me to another place where you will see them. You will not see all of them, only the tall end, and there you shall curse them for me. So he took him to the field of Sophim, to the top of Pisgah, and built 7 altars, and offered a bullock and a ram on each altar. Balaam said to Balak, Stay here beside your burnt offering, while I go and meet Yahweh over there. Yahweh met Balaam and put words on his lips and said, Go back to Balak and give him this message. He returned and found Balak posted beside his burnt offering with the leaders of Moab. Balak asked, What did Yahweh say? Balaam then pronounced his oracle. Be ready to hear, Balak. Listen to me, son of Zippor. God is not a man that he should die, nor a son of man that he should repent. Has he said he will do something and will not do it? Has he promised something and not fulfilled it? See, I have received a command to bless. When he has blessed, I cannot change it. He has not seen misfortune in Jacob or observed misery in Israel. Yahweh their God is with them, and the shout of a king among them. God has brought them out of Egypt. He is for them like the horns of a wild ox. There are no diviners or magicians in Israel, but it shall be made known to them what God will do with them. Behold, a people that rises like a lioness, that rouses itself like a lion. It shall not lie down before it devours its prey and drinks the blood of its victims. Balak said to Balaam, Even though you cannot curse them, do not bless them. But Balaam answered, Did I not tell you that whatever Yahweh says I will do? And Balak said to Balaam, Come, I will take you to another place. Perhaps it is God's will that you curse them for me there. Then Balak took Balaam to the top of Peor, which overlooks the wasteland. And Balaam said to Balak, Build 7 altars for me here, and prepare 7 bullocks and 7 rams. Balak did just as Balaam ordered, and offered a bullock and a ram on each altar. Numbers chapter 24. But Balaam saw that Yahweh willingly blessed Israel. He did not seek out signs as he had done before, but turned towards the desert. He looked up and saw Israel camping, tribe by tribe, and the Spirit of God came upon him, and he uttered his song. Word of Balaam, son of Beor, the seer, the one who hears the words of God and beholds the vision of the Almighty. In ecstasy, with eyes unveiled, how godly are your tents, Jacob, your encampments, Israel, like valleys stretching far, like gardens beside a stream, like aloes planted by Yahweh, like cedars beside the waters. His buckets are overflowing, and his seeds are always watered. His king becomes stronger than Agag, and his kingdom grows. His God brought him out of Egypt, and fights for him like the horns of a wild ox. He devours the carcasses of his enemies, and crushes their bones in pieces. He lies like a lion, or like a lioness. Who dares rouse him? Blessed is he who blesses you, and cursed is he who curses you. Balak's anger turned against Balaam. He beat his hands together and said, I called you to curse my enemy, and you have blessed him 3 times. So flee to your place now. I said, I would greatly reward you, but Yahweh has taken away your reward. Balaam said to Balak, Did I not tell your messengers, though Balak were to give me his house full of silver and gold, I could not do anything, good or bad, of my own accord, beyond Yahweh's command? What Yahweh speaks, I speak. Now, before I return to my people, come that I may warn you what these people will do to your people in the days to come. Then Balaam pronounced his oracle. Word of Balaam, son of Beor, the seer, the one who hears the words of God, who has knowledge from the Most High, and sees the vision of the Almighty. In ecstasy, with eyes unveiled, I see a figure, but not really. I behold him, but not near. A star shall come forth from Jacob. He rises with a staff in his hand. He shatters the forehead of Moab, and tears down all the sons of Sheth. He conquers the land of Edom, and takes the cities of his enemies. Israel grows strong, Jacob dominates. Then Balaam looked to Amalek's country. He said, Amalek, the first of the nations, will finally meet with destruction. Then he looked to the Canaanites' land and continued his oracle. Your dwelling place is enduring, your nest is set in the rock, but you shall be destroyed, and finally Ashur shall take you captive. Balaam continued his oracle and said, Alas, who will live when God does this? Ships shall come from Kittim and shall conquer Ashur, but also Eber. They too shall be destroyed. Then Balaam rose and set out on his journey home, while Balak also went on his way. Numbers chapter 25. Israel settled in Shittim, and the men began to enjoy themselves with the Moabite women and to have sex with them. These women invited the people to the sacrifices of their gods. There the people ate and bowed down before their gods. The Israelites prostituted themselves to the god of Peor, so Yahweh's anger flared against them. He said to Moses, Take all the leaders of these people and hang them in broad daylight before Yahweh, so that his fierce anger may turn away from Israel. So Moses told the Israelite judges, Each of you shall slay any of your men who have joined in worshipping the Baal of Peor. Then a man, an Israelite, came back, bringing a Midianite woman to his family. in view of Moses and the Israelite community while they were weeping at the entrance to the tent of meeting. When Phinehas, son of Eleazar, son of Aaron the priest, saw this, he left the assembly, took a spear in his hand, and followed the Israelite into the tent. There he drove the spear through both the man and the woman. So the plague against the Israelites was checked, but those who had already died numbered 24,000. Yahweh spoke to Moses, Phinehas, son of Eleazar, son of Aaron the priest, has turned away the blows of my anger from the sons of Israel, zealous as he was for me. He has defended my honor among you. Because of this, I did not feel zealous for my honor, so that I should destroy the people of Israel. Therefore, tell him that I am making with him a covenant of friendship. I grant to him and his descendants that they be my priests forever, because he was zealous for his God and made atonement for the sons of Israel. The Israelite slain with the Midianite woman was Zimri, son of Salu, a leader of Simeonite family. And the name of the Midianite woman who was slain was Cosbi, daughter of Sur, a tribal chief of a Midianite family. Yahweh said to Moses, "Attack the Midianites and crush them, for they have been your enemies, deceiving you with regard to Peor and with regard to Cosbi, their kinswoman, daughter of a Midianite leader, who was slain on the day of the plague because of Peor." After the plague, it happened that Numbers chapter 26. Yahweh spoke to Moses and to Eleazar, son of Aaron the priest. He said, "Take a census of all the community of Israel by families, all those of 20 years and above, able to give military service." So Moses and Eleazar the priest enlisted the people in the plains of Moab near the Jordan opposite Jericho, as Yahweh had commanded Moses. They counted the men 20 years and over among the Israelites who had come out of the land of Egypt. Reuben, the firstborn of Israel, the tribe of Reuben, for Hanok, the Hanokite clan, for Pallu, the Palluite clan, for Hezron, the Hezronite clan, for Carmi, the Carmite clan. These were the Reubenite clans. They numbered 43,730 men. The descendants of Pallu, Eliab, the sons of Eliab, Nemuel, Dathan and Abiram. These two, Dathan and Abiram, counselors of the community, were the ones who rebelled against Moses and Aaron. They belonged to the followers of Korah, who rebelled against Yahweh. The earth opened its mouth and swallowed them. Korah died with his followers when fire destroyed the 250 as a warning to the people. The sons of Korah were not killed. The tribe of Simeon by clans, for Nemuel, the Nemuelite clan, for Jamin, the Jaminite clan, for Jachin, the Jachinite clan, for Serah, the Serahite clan, for Shaul, the Shaulite clan. These were the Simeonite clans. They numbered 22,200 men. The tribe of Gad by clans, for Zephon, the Zephonite clan, for Haggi, the Haggite clan, for Shuni, the Shunite clan, for Osni, the Osnite clan, for Eri, the Erite clan, For Arod, the Arodite clan. For Areli, the Arelite clan. These were the clans of the tribe of Gad. They numbered 40,500 men. The tribe of Judah, Er and Onan. Er and Onan died in the land of Canaan. The other sons of Judah became clans. For Shelah, the Shelahite clan. For Perez, the Perezite clan. For Serah, the Serahite clan. The sons of Perez were, for Hezron, the Hezronite clan. For Hamul, the Hamulite clan. These were the clans of Judah. They numbered 76,500 men. The tribe of Issachar by clans. For Tola, the Tolaite clan. For Puah, the Puahite clan. For Jashub, the Jashubite clan. For Shimron, the Shimronite clan. These were the clans of Issachar. They numbered 64,300 men. The tribe of Zebulun by clans. For Sered, the Seredite clan. For Elon, the Elonite clan. For Jaleel, the Jalelite clan. These were the clans of Zebulun. They numbered 60,500 men. The tribe of Joseph by clans. Manasseh and Ephraim. The tribe of Manasseh. For Machir, the Machirite clan. Machir was the father of Gilead. For Gilead, the Gileadite clan. These were the clans of Gilead. For Lazer, the Lazerite clan. For Helek, the Helekite clan. For Asriel, the Asrielite clan. Shechem, the Shechemite clan. Shemida, the Shemidite clan. Hefer, Heferite clan. Zelophehad, son of Hefer, had no sons but only daughters. These are the names of Zelophehad's daughters: Mala, Noah, Hoglah, Milcah, and Tirsa. These were the clans of Manasseh. They numbered 52,700 men. The tribe of Ephraim by clans. For Shuthelah, the Shuthelahite clan. For Becher, the Becherite clan. For Tahan, the Tahanite clan. These are the sons of Shuthelah. For Eran, the Eranite clan. These were the clans of Ephraim. They numbered 32,500 men. These were the descendants of Joseph by clans. The tribe of Benjamin by clans. For Bela, the Belahite clan. For Ashbel, the Ashbelite clan. For Ahiram, Ahiramite clan. For Shephuphan, Shephupanite clan. For Hupham, Huphamite clan. Bela had Ad and Naaman for sons. The Adite clan. For Naaman, the Naamite clan. The tribe of Benjamin by clans numbered 45,600 men. The tribe of Dan by clans. For Shuham, the Shuhamite clan. All the Shuhamite clans numbered 64,400 men. The tribe of Asher by clans. For Imnah, the Imnite clan. For Ishvi, the Ishvite clan. For Beriah, the Beriite clan. The clans of Heber and Malkiel were descendants of Beriah. The daughter of Asher was called Sarah. These were the clans of Asher. They numbered 53,400 men. The tribe of Naphtali by clans. For Jasiel, the Jasielite clan. For Guni, the Gunite clan. For Jeser, the Jeserite clan. For Shillem, the Shillemite clan. The clans of Naphtali numbered 45,400 men. The sons of Israel numbered in all 601,730 men. Yahweh spoke to Moses and said, "The land is to be divided among the tribes as a heritage according to the number of those registered. To a tribe large in number, you are to give a large area of land. To a small one in number, a small area. To each, the heritage will be in proportion to the number registered." The dividing of the land is, however, to be done by lot. Each tribe is to receive its inheritance according to the number of men registered. These are by clans, the Levites that were registered. For Gershon, the Gershonite clan. For Kohath, the Kohathite clan. For Merari, the Merarite clan. These are the Levite sub-clans: the Libnites, the Hebronites, the Malites, the Mushites, the Kohathites. Kohath was the father of Amram, who married Jochebed, descendant of Levi, born in Egypt. She bore Aaron, Moses, and Miriam, their sister. Aaron was the father of Nadab and Abihu, Eleazar and Ithamar. Nadab and Abihu died when they offered unlawful fire before Yahweh. Altogether, there were registered 23,000 males of 1 month and over. They were listed separately from the rest of the Israelites because they would receive no property in Israel. These were the men registered by Moses and Eleazar the priest, who took the census of the Israelites in the plains of Moab near the Jordan River opposite Jericho. Not one of them was among those whom Moses and Aaron had listed in the desert of Sinai, for Yahweh had told them that these were to die in the desert and none would remain, except Caleb, son of Jephunneh, and Joshua, son of Nun. Numbers chapter 27. Then the daughters of Zelophehad came forward. Zelophehad was the son of Hepher, son of Gilead, son of Machir, son of Manasseh, son of Joseph. These are the names of his daughters: Mahla, Noah, Hoglah, Milcah, and Tirzah. They appeared before Moses, before Eleazar the priest, and before the leaders of the whole community at the entrance to the tent of meeting, and said, "Our father died in the desert. He was not one of those who rebelled against Yahweh, nor among the followers of Korah. But he died for his own sin, as all the people, and he did not leave any sons. Why must our father's name disappear from among his clan? Since he had no son, give us some property among our father's relatives." Moses took their case before Yahweh, and Yahweh spoke to Moses. He said, "The daughters of Zelophehad have a just case. Give them property for their inheritance among their father's relatives. Pass on to them their father's inheritance. Then say this to the people of Israel: If a man dies without sons, his inheritance is to be given to his daughter. If he has no daughters, the inheritance is to go to his brothers. If he has no brothers, it is to go to his father's brothers. If his father has no brothers, it is to go to the member of his clan who is most nearly related. He is to hold it as his own property. This shall be a law for the people of Israel, as Yahweh has commanded Moses." Yahweh said to Moses, "Climb this mountain of the Abarim range. and look on the land I give to the Israelites. After you have seen it, you will die, as Aaron your brother did. For you both rebelled against my command in the desert of Sin, when the community complained against me, when I commanded you to proclaim my holy power before their eyes in the matter of the water. These are the waters of Meribah and Kadesh in the desert of Sin. Moses said to Yahweh, May Yahweh, God of the spirits that give life to all living creatures, appoint a leader for this community, who shall go out and come in at their head, who shall lead them out and bring them in, so that the community of Yahweh may not be like sheep without a shepherd. Yahweh answered Moses, Take Joshua, son of Nun, a man in whom the Spirit dwells, and lay your hands on him. Then bring him before Eleazar the priest and the whole community to instruct him in their presence and to give him a share of your authority, so that the whole community of the Israelites may obey him. Eleazar the priest shall consult me for him and tell him my decisions by means of the Urim and Thummim. Then Joshua will direct all the Israelites, the whole community, in all their affairs. Moses did as Yahweh had commanded. He took Joshua and brought him before Eleazar the priest and the whole community, laid his hands on him and instructed him as Yahweh had directed through Moses. Numbers chapter 28. Yahweh spoke to Moses and said, Give the Israelites this command. Take care to bring the food offering, my sweet-smelling offerings, at the times I have appointed. Say to them, These are the burnt offerings you must offer to Yahweh. Every day, 2 one-year-old lambs without any defect. The first lamb you must offer in the morning, the second in the evening, together with a grain offering of 2 pounds of fine flour mixed with 2 pins of purest oil. This is the everlasting burnt offering which was first offered at Mount Sinai as a sweet-smelling offering for Yahweh. The accompanying wine offering to be poured out at the altar is 2 pins of wine for each lamb. The second lamb you must offer in the evening. Do this in the same way as the morning offering, together with the wine offering. On the Sabbath day, you must offer 2 one-year-old lambs without any defect, and 4 pounds of fine flour as a grain offering mixed with oil, as well as the accompanying wine offering. This burnt offering is to be offered every Sabbath, in addition to the daily offering with its accompanying wine offering. At the beginning of each of your months, you must offer a burnt offering to Yahweh, 2 young bulls, 1 ram, and 7 one-year-old lambs without any defect. For each bull, a grain offering of 6 pounds of fine flour mixed with oil. For each lamb, 4 pounds of fine flour mixed with oil. These burnt offerings are sweet-smelling offerings to Yahweh. The accompanying wine offering is 4 pins of wine for a bull, 3 pins for a ram, 2 pins for a lamb. This must be the monthly burnt offering, month after month, every month of the year. In addition to the daily burnt offering, a he-goat must be offered to Yahweh as a sacrifice for sin with its accompanying wine offering. The 14th day of the first month is the Passover of Yahweh, and the 15th day of this month is a feast day. For 7 days, unleavened bread must be eaten. On the first day, you shall gather for worship, and not do work of a worker. You shall offer to Yahweh a burnt offering, 2 young bulls, a ram, 7 one-year-old sheep without any defect. The accompanying grain offering of fine flour mixed with oil is to be 6 pounds for the bull, 4 pounds for the ram, and 2 pounds for each of the 7 lambs. There must also be a he-goat for the sacrifice for sin, for the atonement over you. This must be done in addition to the daily morning offering. You must do this every day of 7 days. It is food, a burnt offering, a fragrant offering to Yahweh. It is to be offered in addition to the daily offering and its accompanying wine offering. On the 7th day you shall gather for worship and not do work of a worker. On the first day of the harvest, when you make your offering of new fruits to Yahweh at your feast of weeks, you ought to gather for worship. You must do no work of workers. You must offer as a burnt offering 2 young bulls, 1 ram, 7 one-year-old lambs. The accompanying grain offering of fine flour mixed with oil is to be 6 pounds for each bull, 4 pounds for the ram, and 2 pounds for each of the 7 lambs. There must also be a he-goat for the sacrifice for sin, for the atonement over you. This must be done in addition to the daily offering and its accompanying wine offering. Numbers chapter 29. In the 7th month, on the first day of the month, you shall gather for worship and do no work of a worker. It shall be a day on which you sound the trumpets. You must offer as a burnt offering 1 young bull, 1 ram, 7 one-year-old lambs without any defect. The accompanying grain offering of fine flour mixed with oil is to be 6 pounds for the bull, 4 pounds for the ram, and 2 pounds for each of the 7 lambs. There must also be a he-goat for the sacrifice for sin, for the atonement over you. All this must be done in addition to the monthly burnt offering with its grain offering, the daily offering with its grain offering, and the accompanying wine offering according to the law as a burnt offering and a sweet-smelling offering to Yahweh. On the 10th day of this 7th month, you shall gather for worship. You must fast and do no work of a worker. You must offer a burnt offering and a sweet-smelling offering to Yahweh, 1 young bull, 1 ram, and 7 one-year-old lambs of your choice without any defect. The accompanying grain offering of fine flour mixed with oil is to be 6 pounds for the bull, 4 pounds for the ram, and 2 pounds for each of the 7 lambs. A he-goat must be offered for the sacrifice for sin. This is in addition to the sacrifice for the Feast of Atonement and to the daily burnt offering with its accompanying grain offering and wine offerings. On the 15th day of the 7th month, you are to gather for worship and do no work of a worker. And for the space of 7 days, you are to celebrate a feast for Yahweh. You must offer as a burnt offering and a sweet-smelling offering to Yahweh 13 young bulls, 2 rams, 14 one-year-old lambs without any defect. The accompanying grain offering of fine flour mixed with oil is to be 6 pounds for each of the 13 bulls, 4 pounds for each of the 2 rams, 2 pounds for each of the 14 lambs. Also 1 he-goat as a sacrifice for sin. This is in addition to the daily burnt offering and its grain offering and wine offering. On the 2nd day, 12 young bulls, 2 rams, 14 one-year-old lambs without any defect. The accompanying grain offering and wine offering as required in proportion to the number of bulls, rams, and lambs, also 1 he-goat for sacrifice for sin. This is in addition to the daily burnt offering with its grain offering and wine offering. On the third day, 11 bulls, 2 rams, 14 one-year-old lambs without any defect, the accompanying grain offering and wine offering as required in proportion to the number of bulls, rams, and lambs, also 1 he-goat for the sacrifice for sin. This is in addition to the daily burnt offering with its grain offering and wine offering. On the fourth day, 10 bulls, 2 rams, 14 one-year-old lambs without any defect, the accompanying grain offering and wine offering as required in proportion to the number of bulls, rams, and lambs, also 1 he-goat for the sacrifice for sin. This is in addition to the daily burnt offering with its grain offering and wine offering. On the fifth day, 9 bulls, 2 rams, 14 one-year-old lambs without any defect, the accompanying grain offering and wine offering as required in proportion to the number of bulls, rams, and lambs, also 1 he-goat for the sacrifice for sin. This is in addition to the daily burnt offering with its grain offering and wine offering. On the sixth day, 8 bulls, 2 rams, 14 one-year-old lambs without any defect, the accompanying grain offering and wine offering as required in proportion to the number of bulls, rams, and lambs, also 1 he-goat for the sacrifice for sin. This is in addition to the daily burnt offering with its grain offering and wine offering. On the seventh day, 7 bulls, 2 rams, 14 one-year-old lambs without any defect, the accompanying grain offering and wine offering as required in proportion to the number of bulls, rams, and lambs, also 1 he-goat for the sacrifice for sin. This is in addition to the daily burnt offering with its grain offering and wine offering. On the 8th day, you shall all gather for worship and do no work of a worker. You shall offer as a burnt offering and sweet-smelling offering to Yahweh 1 bull, 1 ram, 7 one-year-old lambs without any defect, the accompanying grain offering and wine offering as required in proportion to the number of bulls, rams, and lambs, also 1 he-goat for the sacrifice for sin. This is in addition to the daily burnt offering with its grain offering and wine offering. This is what you are to do for Yahweh at your solemn feasts, besides whatever burnt offerings, grain offerings, and wine offerings you present as your freewill offerings. Numbers chapter 30. Moses told the people of Israel exactly what Yahweh had commanded him. Moses spoke to the leaders of the tribes of Israel. He said, "This is what Yahweh has commanded. If a man makes a vow to give something to Yahweh, or a solemn promise to abstain from something, he must not break his promise. Whatever he promises by word of mouth, he must do. If a woman makes a vow to give something to the Lord, or a solemn promise to abstain from something while she is still young and lives in her father's house, and if he hears about this vow or promise made by her and says nothing to her about it, she must do whatever she has promised. But if the father, on the day he learns of it, expresses his disapproval of it, then she is not required to keep a promise. Yahweh will not hold her to her promise, since her father has expressed his disapproval. If a woman makes a vow before being married, or makes a solemn promise to abstain from something, either deliberately or without giving it much thought, she must do everything she vowed, even after she marries, if her husband learns of it and says nothing about it. But if on the day he learns of it, he expresses his disapproval to her, she is not required to keep her promise. Yahweh will not hold her to it. Any vow of a widow or of a divorced woman or any pledge to which she binds herself is valid. If she has made a vow or a solemn promise to abstain from something while in her husband's house, and if when the husband learns of it, he says nothing to her and does not express disapproval to her, then she must do whatever she has vowed or solemnly promised to abstain from. But if the husband forbids it on the day he learns of it, she is not required to do whatever she has vowed or solemnly promised. Yahweh will not hold her to it. Any vow or solemn promise to abstain from something that the wife makes must be allowed or forbidden by the husband. If by the following day the husband has said nothing to her, it means that he approves or allows her vow, whatever it may be, or her solemn promise, whatever it may be. He confirms the vows of his wife by saying nothing on the day he learns of them. But if he forbids them a long time after he learned of them, then he must suffer what results from the wife's failure to fulfill the vow or solemn promise. These are the laws given by Yahweh to Moses concerning the relationship between man and wife, and between a father and his daughter while still young and living in a father's home. Numbers chapter 31. Yahweh spoke to Moses and said, "Fully avenge the Israelites for what they have suffered from Midianites. After that, you will be joined to your people." Moses said to the people, "Let some of you go off to the war and attack the Midianites, for you have to carry out Yahweh's vengeance. Put 1,000 men in the field from each of the tribes of Israel." In this way, the Israelites provided 12,000 men equipped for war, 1,000 from each tribe. Moses put them in the field, 1,000 from each tribe, with Phinehas, son of Eleazar the priest, to go with them, carrying the sacred vessels and the trumpets for sounding the alarm. They attacked the Midianites as Yahweh had commanded Moses, and they put every male to death. And further, they killed the kings of Midian, Evi, Rechem, Sur, Hur, and Reba, the 5 Midianite kings. They also put Balaam, son of Beor, to the sword. The sons of Israel took the Midianite women captive with their young children, and took for themselves all their cattle, all their flocks, and all their goods. They set fire to the towns where they lived, and all their camps. Then, taking all the spoils, all that they had captured, man and beast, they brought the captives and the spoils to Moses, Eleazar the priest, and all the community of the Israelites at the camp in the plains of Moab, near the Jordan River opposite Jericho. Moses, Eleazar the priest, and all the leaders of the community went out of the camp to meet them. Moses was angry with the commanders of the army, the captains of thousands, and the captains of hundreds who had come back from this battle. He said, "Why have you spared the lives of all the women?" These were the very ones who, on Balaam's advice, tempted the people of Israel and made them unfaithful to Yahweh at Peor. Hence the epidemic which struck the community of Israel. So kill all the male children, kill also all the women who have slept with a man. Spare the lives only of the young girls who have not slept with a man. and take them for yourselves. As for you, you must camp for 7 days outside the camp, all of you who have killed a man or touched a corpse. Purify yourselves, you and your prisoners, on the 3rd and 7th days. Purify also all clothing, everything made of skin, everything woven of goat's hair, and everything made of wood. Eleazar the priest said to the soldiers who had come back from this battle, "These are the regulations given by Yahweh to Moses. The gold, silver, bronze, iron, tin, and lead, everything that is not melted by fire, must be passed through the fire to become clean and also be purified by the water for purification. But whatever would be melted by fire, you must pass through water. On the 7th day, you will wash your clothes and then be clean. You may then come back to the camp." Yahweh spoke to Moses and said, "With Eleazar the priest and the heads of families in the community, count the prices of battle and the captives, man and beast. Then share out the spoils, half and half, between those who fought the battle and the rest of the community. As Yahweh's share, you will set aside from the share of the soldiers who took part in the battle 1 out of every 500 persons, oxen, donkeys, and sheep. These are to be taken from the half share which is their due, and given to Eleazar the priest as an offering to Yahweh. From the half which is due to the community of Israel, you will take 1 out of every 50 persons, oxen, donkeys, sheep, and all other animals, and give them to the Levites who have charge of the holy tent of Yahweh." Moses and Eleazar the priest did as Yahweh had commanded Moses. The prices of battle, the remainder of the spoil captured by the soldiers, came to 675,000 head of sheep and goats, 72,000 head of cattle, 61,000 donkeys, and in persons, women who had never slept with a man, 32,000 in all. The half assigned to those who had taken part in the war amounted to 337,500 head of sheep and goats, of which Yahweh's share was 675. 36,000 head of cattle, of which Yahweh's share was 72. 30,500 donkeys, of which Yahweh's share was 61. And 16,000 persons, of which Yahweh's share was 32. Moses gave Eleazar the priest the share set aside for Yahweh, in accordance with Yahweh's instructions to Moses. As for the half due to the Israelite community, which Moses had separated from that of the soldiers, this half, the community's share, came to 337,500 head of sheep and goats, 36,000 head of cattle, 30,500 donkeys, and 16,000 persons. From this half, the share of the community of Israel, Moses took 1 out of every 50, man and beast, and gave them to the Levites who had charge of the holy tent of Yahweh, according to what Yahweh said to Moses. Then the officers of the army, the captains of thousands and the captains of hundreds, came to Moses and said, "Your servants have numbered the soldiers under their command, not one missing. And further, we bring as an offering for Yahweh the gold ornaments we have found, armlets and bracelets, signet rings, earrings, and necklaces, to make atonement for ourselves before Yahweh." Moses and Eleazar the priest accepted this gold from them, all this jewelry. The offering of gold given by them to Yahweh weighed over 400 pounds, all given by the captains of thousands and the captains of hundreds. Each of the soldiers took his own loot, but Moses and Eleazar the priest received the gold from the captains of thousands and of hundreds, and carried it to the tent of meeting as a reminder to Yahweh of the people of Israel. Numbers chapter 32. The tribes of Reuben and Gad owned great herds of fine cattle. Now they saw that the land of Jazer and Gilead was good for raising livestock. Because of this, they went to Moses, Eleazar the priest, and the leaders of the community, and said to them, "The land around Ataroth, Dibon, Jazer, Nimrah, Heshbon, Eleale, Sebam, Nebo, and Beon, which Yahweh has conquered in the sight of the community of Israel, is good land for raising cattle, and we have livestock. If we have deserved your friendship, give us this land for our own. Do not make us cross the Jordan River." Moses replied, "Shall you stay here when your brothers are off to the war? Why do you discourage the people of Israel from entering the land that Yahweh has given them? This is what your fathers did when I sent them from Kadesh Barnea to inspect the land. They went up as far as the valley of Eshcol and inspected the land, but they kept the people of Israel from entering the land Yahweh had given them. Because of this, Yahweh was angry that day and swore this oath: "These men of 20 years and over who came out from Egypt will never see the land that I promised on oath to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, for they have not followed me faithfully, except Caleb son of Jephunneh the Kenizzite, and Joshua son of Nun. These indeed have followed Yahweh faithfully." The anger of Yahweh blazed out against Israel, and he made them wander in the desert for 40 years, until the generation that offended Yahweh had all disappeared. And now will you do as your fathers did? You, new generation of sinful people, will you add still more to the burning anger of Yahweh against Israel? If you turn away from him, he will make your roaming in the desert still longer, and all these people will perish because of you. But they explained their purpose to Moses. "We would like to build sheepfolds here for our flocks and towns for our young children. Then we ourselves will take up arms to lead the people of Israel until we have brought them to the place appointed for them. Only our young children will stay in the fortified towns, safe from the inhabitants of the country. As for us, we will not return to our homes until every one of the Israelites has taken possession of his inheritance, for we shall have no inheritance with them on the other bank of the Jordan River or beyond, since our inheritance has fallen to us here east of the Jordan." Moses said to them, "If you mean what you have said, if you are prepared to go to battle in the presence of Yahweh, and if all your fighting men cross the Jordan River under the command of Yahweh until he has defeated all his enemies, then once Yahweh has taken possession of the land, you may go back. You shall be free of your obligation toward Yahweh and Israel, and this country shall be your inheritance before Yahweh. But if you do not, you will sin against Yahweh, and you can be sure that your sin will follow you. Build towns then for your young children, and fenced places for your sheep, but do what you have promised." The sons of Gad and the sons of Reuben said to Moses, "Your servants will do as you order, sir. Our children, our wives, our sheep, and all our livestock will stay in the towns of Gilead. But we, every man armed for war, will cross over the Jordan before Yahweh to fight as you have ordered. Then Moses gave instructions about them to Eleazar the priest, to Joshua son of Nun, and to the other leaders of Israel. Moses said to them, if the sons of Gad and the sons of Reuben, all who are armed for battle, cross the Jordan before Yahweh to fight with you, then once you have conquered the land, you will give them the country of Gilead for their possession. But if they do not cross over and go into battle with you, then they must have their possessions among you in the land of Canaan. The sons of Gad and the sons of Reuben replied, what Yahweh has said to us, we will do. We will cross into the land of Canaan and go into battle under Yahweh's command, but our inheritance shall be beyond the Jordan. Moses gave to the tribes of Gad and Reuben and to half the tribe of Manasseh the territory of Sihon, king of the Amorites, as well as that of Og, king of Bashan, and all the land and towns surrounding them. The sons of Gad built Dibon, Ataroth, Aroer, Atroth-Shofan, Jazer, Jogbeha, Beth-Nimrah, Beth-Haran, fortified towns and fenced places for the sheep. The sons of Reuben built Heshbon, Eleale, Kiriathaim, Nebo, Baal-Meon, their names were changed, and Sibmah. They gave names to the towns they had built. The sons of Machir, son of Manasseh, went to Gilead. They conquered it and drove out the Amorites who were there. Moses gave Gilead to Machir, son of Manasseh, and he settled there. Jair, son of Manasseh, attacked and captured some villages and called them villages of Jair. Nobah attacked and captured Kenath with its outlying villages and called it Nobah after himself. Numbers chapter 33. Here are the stages of the journey of the people of Israel when they left the land of Egypt by divisions under the leadership of Moses and Aaron. Moses followed Yahweh's instructions and wrote down the starting place for each stage of the journey. Here are the stages, or better, the starting places. They left Egypt on the 15th day of the first month of the year. On the day following the Passover, the people of Israel set out triumphantly in the sight of all the Egyptians when they were burying their dead, for Yahweh had killed all their firstborn. He had also passed judgment on the gods of Egypt. The people of Israel left Rameses and camped at Succoth. Then they left Succoth and camped at Etham, which is on the edge of the wilderness. They left Etham, turned back to Pi-hahiroth, which faces Baal-Zephon, and camped before Migdol. They left Pi-hahiroth, crossed over the sea into the wilderness, and after marching for 3 days in the desert of Etham, they camped at Marah. They left Marah and reached Elim. At Elim there were 12 springs of water and 70 palm trees. They camped there. They left Elim and camped by the Sea of Reeds. They left the Sea of Reeds and camped in the wilderness of Sin. They left the wilderness of Sin and camped at Dophkah. They left Dophkah and camped at Alush. They left Alush and camped at Rephidim. The people found no drinking water there. They left Rephidim and camped in the wilderness of Sinai. They left the wilderness of Sinai and camped at Kibroth Hattava. They left Kibroth Hattava and camped at Hazeroth. They left Hazeroth and camped at Rithma. They left Rithma and camped at Rimmon Peres. They left Rimmon Peres and camped at Libnah. They left Libnah and camped at Risa. They left Risa and camped at Kehelatha. They left Kehelatha and camped at Mount Shephar. They left Mount Shephar and camped at Harada. They left Harada and camped at Makheloth. They left Makheloth and camped at Tahath. They left Tahath and camped at Terah. They left Terah and camped at Mithka. They left Mithka and camped at Hashmonah. They left Hashmonah and camped at Moseroth. They left Moseroth and camped at Benejakan. They left Benejakan and camped at Hor Haggidgad. They left Hor Haggidgad and camped at Jotbatha. They left Jotbatha and camped at Abrona. They left Abrona and camped at Esion-Geber. They left Esion-Geber and camped in the wilderness of Sin, that is Kadesh. They left Kadesh and camped at Mount Hor, on the borders of the land of Edom. There Aaron the priest went up Mount Hor at Yahweh's command, and there he died in the 40th year of the journey of the Israelites from the land of Egypt in the 5th month, on the 1st day of the month. Aaron was 123 years old when he died at Mount Hor. The king of Arad, a Canaanite who lived in the Negeb in the land of Canaan, was informed when the people of Israel arrived. So they left Mount Hor and camped at Salmonah. They left Salmonah and camped at Punon. They left Punon and camped at Oboth. They left Oboth and camped in Moabite territory of Lai-Abarim. They left Lai-Abarim and camped at Dibon-Gad. They left Dibon-Gad and camped at Almon-Dibathaim. They left Almon-Dibathaim and camped in the Abarim mountains facing Nebo. They left the Abarim mountains and camped in the plains of Moab near the Jordan opposite Jericho. There they camped near the Jordan between Beth-Jeshimoth and Abel-Hashittim in the plains of Moab. Yahweh spoke to Moses in the plains of Moab near the Jordan River opposite Jericho and said, "Say this to the people of Israel, when you have crossed the Jordan into the land of Canaan, you must drive out all the inhabitants of the country. You must destroy their stones and their idols and all their places of worship. You will take possession of this land and settle in it, for I have given it to you for your own. You are to divide it by drawing lots among your clans. To a large clan you will give a larger piece of property, to a small clan a smaller one. Where the lot falls for each, that will be his. Make this division according to tribes. But if you do not drive out the inhabitants of the country, then those you have allowed to remain will be as splinters in your eyes and thorns in your side. They will harass you in the land where you are to live, and I will treat you as I meant to treat them." Numbers chapter 34. Yahweh spoke to Moses and said, "Give the people of Israel this order. When you go into the land of Canaan, this territory will be your inheritance. This is the land of Canaan with its boundaries. The southern part of your country will stretch from the wilderness of Sin along the borders of Edom. It will start on the east at the southern end of the Salt Sea. It will then turn south toward the ascent of the Scorpions and go through Sin as far as Kadesh Barnea. Then it will go northwest towards Asar-Adda and pass through Asmon. From Asmon, the boundary will turn toward the valley of the border of Egypt and end at the Big Sea, the Mediterranean Sea. The Big Sea will be your western boundary. For your northern boundary, you will draw a line from the Big Sea to Mount Hor. Then from Mount Hor, you will draw a line to the pass of Hamath, and the boundary will end at Cedar. From there, it will go on to Siphron and end at Hasar-Enan. This will be your northern boundary. You will then draw your eastern boundary from Hasar-Enan to Shepham. The boundary will go south from Shepham toward Riblah on the east side of Ain and on to the hills on the eastern shore of Lake Galilee. The boundary will then follow the Jordan and end at the Dead Sea. This will be your land with the boundaries surrounding it. Moses then gave this instruction to the people of Israel. This is the land you are to divide by lot, which Yahweh has commanded to be given to the remaining 9.5 tribes, the tribes of Reuben and the tribe of Gad with its clans, and also the half-tribe of Manasseh have already been given their land beyond the Jordan opposite Jericho to the east toward the sunrise. Yahweh spoke to Moses and said, "These are the names of those who will share out the land: Eleazar the priest and Joshua son of Nun, with one leader from each tribe. Here are the names of these men. For the tribe of Judah, Caleb son of Jephunneh. For the tribe of Simeon, Shemuel son of Ammihud. For the tribe of Benjamin, Elidad son of Kislon. For the tribe of Dan, the leader Bukki son of Jogli. For the tribe of Manasseh, the leader Haniel son of Ephod. And for the tribe of Ephraim, the leader Kemuel son of Shiftan. For the tribe of Zebulun, the leader Elisaphan son of Parnach. For the tribe of Issachar, the leader Paltiel son of Asan. For the tribe of Asher, the leader Ahihud son of Shelomi. For the tribe of Naphtali, the leader Pedahel son of Ammihud. These are the men whom Yahweh commanded to divide the land of Canaan among the tribes of Israel as their inheritance. Numbers chapter 35. Yahweh spoke to Moses in the plains of Moab near the Jordan opposite Jericho. He said, "Tell the people of Israel to give to the Levites out of the property they possess towns in which to live, and pasture land around the towns. They will live in the towns, and the surrounding pasture land is to be for their cattle and all their animals. The pasture land surrounding the towns that you give to the Levites shall extend from the walls of the towns 500 yards in each direction, so that there is a square area measuring 1,000 yards on each side, with the town in the middle. The towns you give to the Levites will be the 6 towns of refuge to which a person can escape who causes another's death, and you are to give them 42 more towns. Altogether, you will give 48 towns to the Levites, towns together with their pasture lands. You will take these towns from the property of the sons of Israel, taking more towns from the tribes who own more, and less from tribes who own less. Every tribe will give towns to the Levites in proportion to the land they themselves have received." Yahweh spoke to Moses and said, "Say this to the people of Israel: when you cross the Jordan River and reach the land of Canaan, you are to select towns which you will make into towns of refuge, to which a person who has killed someone accidentally may escape. In these towns, they will be saved from the dead person's relative who wants revenge, so that the killer may not die without being brought to trial before the community. The towns you give will serve you as 6 cities of refuge, the 3 that you give beyond the Jordan, and the 3 that you give in the land of Canaan are to be cities of refuge. These 6 towns will be a refuge for the people of Israel, as well as for the stranger and the foreigner among you, where anyone who has killed accidentally may find safety. But if the killer has struck someone with an iron object, or with a stone or wooden instrument, and has killed that person, he is a murderer and must be put to death. The dead person's nearest relative must put the murderer to death. When he finds him, he must kill him. If a person hates someone and causes his death, pushing him down, or by throwing something at him, or by hitting him with his fist, he is a murderer and is to be put to death. The dead person's nearest relative must put him to death when he finds him. If, however, a person has accidentally killed someone whom he does not hate, either by pushing him down, or throwing him down, or throwing something at him, or without looking has thrown a stone that kills someone, then the community shall judge in favor of the one who caused death, rather than in favor of the dead person's relative who seeks revenge. They will send the person who killed someone accidentally back to the city of refuge, where he went for safety, and there he must stay until the death of the high priest. If the killer should leave the city of refuge to which he had gone for safety, and the dead person's nearest relative meets him outside the city of refuge, the relative may kill him without fear of punishment, since the killer should stay in his city of refuge until the death of the high priest. Only after the death of the high priest is he free to go back to his own home. These regulations are for you and your descendants, wherever you may be. In case of murder, the accused may be found guilty and put to death only on the evidence of 2 or more witnesses. The evidence of only one witness is not enough to uphold an accusation of murder. You shall not accept payment to save the life of a murderer condemned to death. He must die. Nor are you to accept payment from anyone who wishes to leave his city of refuge to return and live in his own home before the death of the high priest. You must not defile the land you live in. Murder defiles the land, and there is no other atonement for the land where blood has been shed than through the blood of the murderer. You must not defile the land you live in, the land in which I live. For I, Yahweh, live among the people of Israel. Numbers chapter 36. Then the heads of families in the clan of Gilead, son of Machir, grandson of Manasseh, one of the clans of Joseph, came forward. They spoke before Moses and the heads of the families of Israel, and said, Yahweh has commanded you to give the land to the people of Israel, sharing it out by drawing lots. And Yahweh has commanded you to give the inheritance of our brother Zelophehad to his daughters. Now, if they marry someone from another tribe in Israel, their property will be taken away from the inheritance of our fathers. The property of the tribe to which they will belong will be increased, while the property given to us will be decreased. And when the Jubilee year comes, the property of these women will be added to the inheritance of the tribe to which they then belong, and lost to the inheritance of our own tribe. Moses, at Yahweh's command, gave the following ruling to the people of Israel. He said, "The tribe of Joseph is right. This is Yahweh's decision for the daughters of Zelophehad. They may marry whom they please, but they must marry into a clan of their father's tribe. The property of the people of Israel is not to be transferred from tribe to tribe. The property of every Israelite is to remain attached to his own tribe. Every woman who has inherited property in one of the tribes of Israel must marry into a clan of her own tribe, so that each Israelite may inherit the property of his ancestors. No property may be transferred from one tribe to another. Every tribe of Israel will always keep its own property." The daughters of Zelophehad did as Yahweh had commanded Moses. Mahlah, Tirzah, Hoglah, Milcah, and Noah, daughters of Zelophehad, married the sons of their father's brothers. Since they married into the clans of Manasseh, son of Joseph, their property remained with the tribe of their father's clan. These are the commandments and laws that Yahweh gave to the people of Israel through Moses in the plains of Moab near the Jordan opposite Jericho.